Season 45, War 2, and 4 Loki is facing LVT. Yeah. All right, I'm going to be bringing Abs Man. I'm going to be bringing, of course, Immortal Abomination for the poison synergy. Immunity, I guess I should say, from this energy. And then we're going to be bringing some Sandman. Didn't have great Sandman gameplay in War 1, but this is a process, right? We're going to evolve, and so we're gonna keep fighting with Sandman until we get his, till we get our act together. All right. Well, let's go ahead and throw on Decay and get into the fights. All right. There's a look at my boost there. We're gonna be starting off on path 9. And first up, we've got this Nick Fury. So, we're going to go ahead and turn on the Magma form. We've got the, that's for the Incinerate immunity. Obviously, we've got the Poison immunity from the Synergy. And we've got the Power Back boost. So we just want to beat Nick to death, do 4-hit combos when Nick is over a bar power, bait the heavy, and then punish accordingly. Pretty simple stuff. I really would prefer facing Nick here on node 9. This is one of the few fights where I actually like the power efficiency on the defender, just because dealing with Nick's special 2 is a lot easier than his special 1. And so any fight that allows me to keep him above 2 bars of power or get him there quickly is obviously going to be beneficial in terms of my comfort level for fighting him. He would have been much more intimidating on node 18, where it's it's harder to push him to 2 bars of power. But I'm not going to question any defensive placements against LVT. One more special 2, and that finishes the fight. Not a bad job by Carl. All right. Following up, we have very other common, non-surprising placement. We have here a Null. 18 because, again, his special 1, if he throws it, can make you go into reverse controls. That's intimidating for a lot of folks. But it's very common placement. Nothing, genius level here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing against Null that we did against Nick. We're going to keep to 4-hit combos when he's above a bar power, bait heavies, and then punish to try and get him above 2. Here I go ahead and hit him with a special 2 just because I'm getting close to a special 3 and I don't want that just yet, but it's fine. We get him to dump his power here with the special 2 and then just go straight back into the plan, except for the fact that there I actually end up doing the 5th hit of the combo pushes him above the bar power. So he's going to throw a special 1. I have the time bomb ticking on the reverse controls. I'm not intimidated. It doesn't matter. 1 special 2 ends it. So I'm also on path 9B. Here LVT has placed a Surfer. I can only assume that they're hoping that, because this is, the SP2 node that pushes your power up to SP2 very quickly. Then the hits become unblockable. So I'm assuming that they're hoping that somebody gets nailed by a big Surfer SP2 in order to, since that's the only real danger here, we're gonna keep them under 2 bars of power. Just bait the SP1s and let the armor breaks from that pause the form. Clown, why aren't you talking much during these fights? Well, these kinds of wars, you don't want any bulletin board material. I mean, LVT is always going to do their trash talk, but, you don't want to be behind a quote or something like that. All right, the next fight is the long shot here on 36. We're just going to use Sandman. Sandman's great for this fight because obviously he's got the bleed and the shock immunities. And on, 9B, that's what you're dealing with in terms of the hazard shocks. But the bleed immunity also means that you're not going to, need to worry too much about long shot special one. So that's where we're going to keep him. We're going to keep him at 1 bar power. We're going to, just punish the SB1. Now, I did take off dexterity for this fight, since that's really the only buff I need to worry about here with Sandman in terms of long shot and mystic dispersion. What's funny is that muscle memory sometimes takes control, and even though I know I have dex turned off here, I still try to dex a few of his SP1s, and not that one, but the one prior I had, and I think I do this one as well. Yeah, just from muscle memory, end up getting hit by him, but again, no real threat from that because of the immunities. And I'm gonna finish the fight, with an actual root. Look at me, like a real boy. Like a real boy. All right, my final fight this war is this rank 2 Arcus. And the strategy here is just turn on Magma Form, heal up, throw in an invul, and just try and get this fight through as quickly as you can. Basically, with the invul, you can survive, 4 SP3s. That's always a concern because although Absman does really well against Arcus, he can't counter the power gains. So my only hope here is that maybe I can bait out a few specials along the way. And I actually successfully do. I bait out a number of SP1s. Not too much damage, even though aggression prowess is beginning to tick. But yeah, he was very, very kind with throwing these specials here. And I ended up not taking a single SP3 in this fight. And I get the solo, so that's pretty good. LVT would go on to beat us. They cleared the map without any deaths, so obviously they did a good job, and congratulations to them on their victory. Of course, they did talk shit in the war chat, but that's just because you can't spell classy without LVT. Wait, hold on. My wife is correcting me. No, actually, there is no class in LVT. So yeah. Alrighty, now we're gonna go ahead and move on over to the SSX world. There, we're facing Salty. I'm just going to have some path fights over here in SSX. The war plan came out before I published my last video, so I was allowed to use Sandman again. Hey, but maybe some confidence will be restored after this one because I used Sandman for 2 fights. I've got Nick Fury for 1 and Shuri for the 4th. So, yeah. We're going to start off on path 4. Here we have a Void. This is sort of an easy Nick Fury fight because you can obviously purify your own debuffs here, including that heal block. Although for whatever reason, I took my own sweet time in dumping that and cost myself a bunch of health just because I was just letting it sit there. Big dummy. But yeah, this Void, he's already past half health. We'll just throw the special one here just to keep cleaning off these debuffs. But yeah, very easy fight. Next up, we have this rank 2 Wong. He's a global defender, but Sandman is a decay attacker, as we know. So this is merely, in my opinion, a fight in which I'm just going to be spamming specials as best I can, and that way I keep the slow up on Wong, and I don't have to either worry about the unstoppable from the global or from Wong's base kit, when he charges his heavy and whatnot. So yeah, I'm even going to be doing a bunch of roots in this fight too. Look, well, first I want to get some debuff stuff before I do it, because obviously that scales his damage. We just do a nice chunk with that rotation, about 20% of this rank 2's health. And we'll just keep pouring the debuffs on him until we can get back up to another heavy root. And here we go, another big chunk. And again, keeping the debuffs up. Plus all of those petrifies are going to be doing some damage from, the healing reversal. So, all right, one more root rotation, and we should be done with this Wong. Not bad, not bad. All right. In section 2, I'm on path 2B, and first up is this man thing, which means I've got another Sandman fight. And I'll, obviously speed these up because they're not fast fights. They're not fast fights. And I think that sort of contributed to our problem in this war against Salty. We ended up, losing. Our time was problematic, and obviously my contribution to that does not help the situation. But unfortunately, with the way the bands work this season, you got to get your K-tackers where you can, and I'm getting better with Sandman. Here obviously you see me doing the rooting, and hopefully I continue to improve on both accounts as we move forward. And then finally, Domino on the EMP mod. That's why we brought Shuri, both for the immunity to the AAR reduction as well as the shock immunity from the node. So this is a pretty straightforward fight. I popped an immunity. One of the big concerns here is that Domino is going to go like Mystic Dispersion style straight to a Special 3. And spoiler alert, that's exactly what happens during the fight. That's where the immunity exists. You're not going to obviously have the immunity from the bleed thereafter. But, the sort of the mental plan in my head is that once I get enough of these shocks going on Domino, I'll just be able to, out damage her before she dies. So we get her up to 11 shocks, throw the SP once though we can get the critical shots, and now we're cooking with gas against this lady. So we'll just wait till we get to the Special 3 animation. Yep. You see, yep, no damage from the invul. But we will obviously be taking some DOT afterwards from the bleed. But the special intercept there resets the shock timer, so that's good. Allows the damage to keep, getting chunky on her. And there we go. All right, 4 fights down in SSX. SSX lost to Salty, 4 Loki lost to LVT, and I'll see you in the next war, Jack.